Dear children, I welcome you all to the radio learning program. I'm Teacher Mary. I'm going to teach you social studies for P5. So P5 learners, are you ready for the lesson today? Okay? And please get your notebooks and pens, and you will need them because you will be writing down activities and questions that I will be giving you. And even our parents, I appreciate you so much for helping our children as they are learning through this program. So, children, do you remember what we learned in the last lesson? Can you recall what we learned in the last lesson? Okay? So, this is what we learned in the last lesson. So, we learned about leadership in the province, and we said leadership is the act of guiding and managing others. We also learned about the qualities of a good leader, which are being exemplary, being a good listener, being able to make good decisions, and being honest and kind. In general, we learned about leadership. Okay? Let us have a short break and we continue.
Come along and play with us.
Welcome back. So, today, we are going to learn about economy. So you can find this topic on page 53, 54 in the P5 SST textbook. Find this topic on page 53, 54 in the P5 SST textbook. So by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to define economy. You'll also be able to define a budget and a family budget. And you'll also be able to define the importance of a family budget. Okay, so can we have a warm-up? Can you stand up for this warm-up? Are you ready? Okay, let us sing together. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, say I am, I am. If you're happy and you know, say I am, I am. If you're happy and you know, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know, say I am, I am. So children, are you happy? Are you happy and are you ready for the lesson today? Okay, can you say I am? Well done, I am. Can you sit down? Okay, I told you that we are going to learn about economy. So what is economy? What do you understand by economy? Okay? Can you write it in your notebooks? Can you share with your parents? Economy is a careful management of available resources. Economy is a careful management of available resources. So resources can be money, they can be food, resources can be water, it can also be electricity. So resources are different. So economy, it means being able to manage all those resources carefully, very well. So if you have your money, how are you able to manage your money carefully? Being able to spend your money very well. And if I told you have water in the compound, how are you able to manage the water carefully? So economy is a careful management of available resources. That is what economy is. Okay, so what is the importance of economy? Why should we manage our resources carefully? Can you think about that? So economy helps us to plan well for the resources and income we have in order to meet our present needs and those of the future. Economy helps us to plan well for the resources and the income we have in order to meet our present needs and those of the future. So being able to manage the resources carefully. For example, if you're able to manage money very well, you will be able to use money to buy the needs of today. For example, food. If you need food, you will be able to buy the food that you need today. And also tomorrow or after 1 month, you will also be able to have enough money to buy food for the next month. So you have managed your money carefully and you have managed to use it very well. So economy will help you to plan well for the resources and the income that you have so that you meet the needs of the present and also of the future. You'll be able to purchase things that you need right now and also be able to purchase things that you need in future. So needs are the basic things we should have in order to live a better life. The needs are the basic things we should have in order to live a better life. And now, let us look at the two types of needs. Let us look at the two types of needs. So the two types of needs are, so we have basic needs and luxurious needs. Can you think of the basic needs? What are some of the basic needs? So we have already said that basic needs are the things we cannot live without. There are things we can't live without, like food, water, clothing, and medical care. So when planning for our families, we should consider basic needs first. Every time you're going to spend your money, consider basic needs. Consider if you have food at home or water. Do not buy other things which are not basic needs. If you have food, water, clothes, then you can spend on other things. So basic needs are things you can't live without. Luxurious goods. What about luxurious goods? Or luxurious needs? Luxurious needs are things that people can live without. These are things that people can live without. These are things which make our life easier and more comfortable. They make your life easy, more comfortable. You just enjoy your life, but you can live without them. So these things are televisions, cars, computers, telephones, and many others. They are things you can live without, but they make your life easy and comfortable. So those are luxurious goods. Now, this brings me to this question, because remember I was sharing with you that you need to always consider basic needs every time you're going to buy things. Consider basic needs. So, what is a budget? What is a budget? What do you understand by a budget? Can you write it down? Okay. So this is what a budget is. A budget is a plan showing the income and expenditure. A budget is a plan showing the income and expenditure. In other words, a budget is when we plan how we get the money and how to use the money that we get. So a budget is you plan the money that you have, how you get the money, and how to use the money that you get, and that is expenditure. So what are those parts of a budget? The parts on a budget. When you're making a budget, there are things you need to include. So there are two main things that need to be considered while budgeting. Two main things. One, the income. Income, this is the money we earn. Income, it is the money we earn. Then expenditure, it is the money we spend. Expenditure is the money we spend. Okay, let us have this short break and we continue.
Come along and play with us.
Welcome back, children. We were looking at what a budget is and the parts of a budget. So now let us look at the family budget. What is a family budget? Okay? Do you make budgets at home? So a family budget is a plan of how the family income is expected to be spent. A family budget is a plan of how the family income is expected to be spent. So in other words, the family sits down, looks at the income they have, and they plan how to spend the income they have. When making a family budget, we should always consider basic needs first. And the basic needs are food, water, clothes. So every time you're making a family budget, consider basic needs first. It is important to involve all family members when making a family budget. It is important to involve all family members when making a family budget. So whenever your parents are making a budget, always ask them to include you, because your idea will also be important. And also parents, please always include children whenever you're making a family budget. It is very important for every family member to be included. They will know the money they have and they will know how they are going to spend it, and they'll plan for it effectively. So, why is it important to make a family budget? This is another question. Why is it important to make a family budget? Okay? So, a family budget is important. It is very important in different ways. 1, a family budget helps the family to avoid overspending. It helps the family to avoid overspending. Therefore, they are able to make savings. The family will not overspend and they will be able to save some money. 2, a family budget enables the family to obtain the items needed at an affordable cost. The family will be able to make a list of items and also be able to write down the prices, and they will get items they need on affordable price because they have planned for them. A family budget encourages the family to work hard in order to meet the money it requires. So when the family makes a budget, they will know the amount of money they need. So they will work so hard so as to get that money that they need to use in the family. So number 3, it helps the family to use the money they get in a productive way, and then they are able to avoid debts. It helps a family to use the money they get in a productive way, and they are able to avoid debts. So if the family has a budget, they will know how to use that money, and they will not be borrowing money from here or there, because they know the money they have planned for it, and they will use it very well. So number 5, it helps the family to spend money on priority items. Priority items can be basic needs, but those ones which are priority. So if a family makes a budget, it is able to plan for the money they have, and they will be able to buy things which are needed first, which are priority or basic needs. They will not spend on other things which are not needed very fast. So lastly, a family budget helps the family to plan for the future. So if a family makes a budget, they will plan for the future. They will be having money to save, and they will know how to use that money in future, after 1 month, after 2 months, or even after one year. And they will be able to do something which is very developmental. So we have looked at a family budget. So now we are going to look at something practical. You have your pens, you have your books. We are going to do something practical concerning a family budget. We are going to do something practical concerning a family budget. So we are going to use an example of a family which we are going to identify as Mugabo's family. We shall use Mugabo's family, any Mugabo, but not specifically that Mugabo who is in a certain area, but we are going to use a name Mugabo. So we are going to look at Mugabo's monthly salary. Mugabo's monthly salary is 120,000 francs. That is what he gets. That is practical. So if you have your notebook and a pen, you could be writing down the money that I will be mentioning. So Mugabo's monthly salary is 120,000 francs. So this is how he spends the money. This is how the family spends the money. The first item they spend on is rent. They spend on rent. They spend 25,000. They spend 25,000. His salary is 120,000. So rent they are paying 25,000, and on food they are paying 20,000 francs. On food, they pay 20,000 francs. On medical care, they pay 7,000 francs. On medical care, they spend 7,000 francs. On school fees, the family spends 20,000 francs. They spend 20,000 francs on school fees. On transport, they spend 5,000 francs. They spend 5,000 francs on transport. The family also spends 12,000 francs on clothes. They spend 12,000 francs on clothes. So now, what is the total expenditure of all the items we have looked at? The items, they are rent, food, medical care, fees, and I was able to mention the amount of money. So the total expenditure is 89,000 francs. The total expenditure is 89,000 francs. So now I have a question. How much did he save? How much did Mugabo's family save? Remember, his salary is 120,000 francs. And then he was able to spend on the items I mentioned. He spent 89,000 francs. How much did he save? How much did he save? Have you calculated? What did you do to get the money he saved? Okay, now to find the money saved, you get all the items under expenditure. You subtract the amount of total expenditure from the total salary. So total salary of Mugabo was 120,000 francs. So the expenditure is 89,000 francs. So now the money he saved, you get 120,000 minus 89,000 francs. And the total gives us 31,000 francs. That is how much Mugabo was able to save. 31,000 francs. So this is a surplus budget. This is a surplus budget since the income is more than the expenditure, and you know that whenever the income and the expenditure is equal, that is a balanced budget. And whenever the expenditure is more than the income, that is a deficit budget. So the budget of Mugabo is a surplus budget because the income is more than the expenditure.
Come along and play Rwanda.
So now this brings me to the end of our lesson. Now let us summarize everything we learned in the lesson. We learned about what economy is, which is the careful management of available resources. And we have also looked at a family budget and how to make a budget. We looked at the basic needs and the luxurious needs. So I'm going to give you homework. You're going to look at the financial institutions. Look at the financial institutions. Those are places which provide financial service and in terms of money. So research about the financial institutions that we have in Rwanda. So children, thank you so much for paying attention. It has been your teacher Mary who was teaching you in this lesson. So I hope you'll join me in the next lesson. Bye-bye.